Hi everybody, and welcome to week 3 of Faerie Awakening, and I hope you're all doing really well and enjoying your connection with Faerie and with the realm of Faerie. And so we are in week 3. The weeks are flying by. Last week we were looking at the celebrations, the seasonal celebrations, and it was an intense, powerful time for all of us. And by the end of the week we were looking at connecting with our fairy guides and our fairy allies. So as we are in week 3, I'm wondering how that's going. There's no pressure, no hurry. This is just going to be a very important part of the Faerie Awakening experience, to have that fairy guide, that fairy ally come through in one level or another. We may not have seen them, we may not know their name, we just maybe have an awareness that there is a fairy being there for us. So it's a very important part of the work we do, and again, it may not happen in the 7 weeks. It may happen in 7 days, 7 minutes, 7 years, but this is a friendship for life, and a friendship that will be really healthy and healing to connect and explore the realm of Faerie. So if you haven't met them yet, that is not a problem, but it is worth in different ways asking to connect with your fairy guide, and waiting and seeing and sensing what messages come through, because it may not be what we're expecting it to be, and with Faerie it usually isn't it? So it may be something completely unexpected that will come through as a message that your fairy guide is here around you, and they want to work with you. But I hope you're all having a really great time exploring that connection. This week we're going to be looking at a few things. We are taking a bit of a slower pace, like I mentioned last week, a bit of a catch-up week, but also to go deep into the realm of dreams. Dreams are really an area that I've always been fascinated by and have worked with for many years, and we can get so much from our connection with the dream world. But it is in that dream space that it makes it a lot easier for fairies to connect with us. But it also can be hard for us to remember because we're in that in-between. We're not in that space of logical brain wanting to achieve something, or totally unconscious and not knowing what's going on. In those in-between moments, in the memories of dreams, is where images, senses, feelings of fairies can often come through. And often if we wake up in the middle of the night and we do a meditation, or we ask to connect with Faerie, sometimes that half sleep, half waking experience can be some of the most powerful experiences we can have with Faerie, because we will remember it, but also we're not too much in that rational brain. So on the worksheets this week I've got some examples of how you can connect with the fairy realm in your dreams. And again, this is going to be a long-term thing, hopefully. I know it can be quite hard to remember to write down your dreams, but having a dream diary or having your journal next to your bed, so you can just scribble down some details or some feelings and essences of what you had in your dream, what you experienced in your dream, even if it doesn't feel at all fairy related. It's really powerful and important, because it creates a language for you, and it creates a muscle memory, really. The more you do that, the more you're going to get from your dreams. The more you get from your dreams, the more the fairies know they are safe and are in a good place to connect with you in that realm. So even if you dreamt of going to the supermarket, just write that down, jot it down, jot how you felt, because feelings are the language of dreams. Sometimes you have a dream and it feels like it looks nice, but you feel really it's not okay. Or sometimes it can be quite a visceral dream, but actually feel that you're okay with it. So being in a space where you are just noting down the feelings and the details of a dream, you will find without a shadow of a doubt that in time, and probably not too long, you are getting more and more from your nightly dream life, or your daily dream life if you're on night shifts. And this can be such a powerful place to bring messages through. And as I say in the sheets, our ancestors used dream work. They really took heed of their dreams, and it's only really relatively recently that we've gone, oh well, dreams, they're funny things to talk about at parties. But we know in our heart when a dream shakes us to the core that was something that really came up for us. And when you can't shake the feeling of a dream for a few days sometimes, or for a few hours, it's so powerful for us. I've woken up from dreams and felt really not okay for a while, and I've woken up from dreams and felt that something really deep within me had been healed. And I know that in that space there was work that was being done that I couldn't do in my rational conscious brain. So I've experienced connection with Faerie and the realm of Faerie and the ancestors in my dream, and they all feel a certain way, and I've learned to recognise the difference between a dream and a fairy or goddess or ancestral connection dream. And yeah, there's a special almost flow to them, which feels different, but you may have a different kind of experience, and you'll find your own language with how the fairies want to connect with you in dream. And as I say on the sheets, there's plenty of ways to encourage powerful and beautiful dreaming. So do have a little look and give them a go. Even if you're not a powerful dreamer and you never remember normally, we all dream. Even if we don't remember them, we all dream. So it is worth just exploring a little bit and experimenting with your dream life, because we spend a fair bit of time asleep and we get so much through in that space. So it's a very powerful, magical space as well. So yeah, that's one aspect what we're going to be looking at this week. And also going to be looking at deeper connection with our allies and our guides. So going on more meditations with them, more journeys with them, asking them to be present with us when we maybe go for our walks, when we are on our doing a healing, when we are in a meditation, asking our fairy guides to be with us when we're on a specific quest. Maybe we've got to sort something out and we're feeling a bit stuck with it. This is where our fairy guides and us are going to get a deeper friendship. It's not just resolved to sort of saved for once a week connection. This is a daily connection if you wish it. You could be out in the garden or out in the walk in the woods and see if your fairy guide is joining you. When you're doing oracle readings or tarot readings, you can ask them to bring their guidance and insight. So in the meditation this week, we have other things going on, but a part of that meditation is to have a deeper connection with your fairy guide and fairy ally, and write down about them. Maybe write about them, sketch them down, find pictures that remind you of something about them. Not only does this honour them, but it also allows you to feel in a stronger spiritual and emotional connection with them, because you're making them part of your day-to-day life. And you're manifesting something of this in our reality by putting it down on paper in some way. So yes, dreams and guides this week. Something else I wanted to talk about as well, because it's really sweet and easy way of connecting with the elemental and fairy realm, is with crystals or rocks or stones that have elemental guardians, that have fairy guardians, that have fairies almost living within them. Not all crystals do, particularly if they've been mined terribly or been manufactured to the core. And this is where it's going to be good for you to know when you maybe go into a crystal shop, or when you go into the woods or a space where you are surrounded by objects that could be connected to fairy, to feel the ones that really have that life force to them, and ones that really feel a little bit almost dead to you in some way. And this little stone's been with me a long time and has a definite mind and life of its own. And some of these stones come through to us and they are sacred because they have their own elemental guardian. They have their own fairy being connected to them. And it's a wonderful way, and really a great practice to meditate and to hold these crystals and to ask to connect with the fairy guardian of the crystal or the stone or whatever it is for you. So in meditation, what is really beautiful is just to be holding your stone or your crystal, get into a really relaxed meditative space and ask in your mind's eye, or ask out loud, please, can I connect with the spirit of this rock or the spirit of this crystal? The fairy being is an elemental guardian of a specific crystal. And then, this is a beautiful one. These two are both very beautiful. They're gifted to me and they feel amazing. And that's another way to know when they have their elemental guardians, because they feel amazing and they feel alive. Is to hold them and to connect with the spirit guardian of the crystal. And see how that makes you feel. See if you see anything. Do you hear anything? They probably do want to be spoken to. They've probably come to you because they want to connect with you. So it's a great way, if you enjoy working with crystals or stones, to get more from that connection with the crystals. But also, you have these stones around you, these fairies really fully come to you, so you can work with them in that deeper level. And it's really fun as well to do a bit of meditation, to just spend some time, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, holding a specific rock or crystal, holding it and asking and inviting the energy into your life and seeing what physical energy that feels for you. How do you feel when you hold that crystal? Do you get any messages? Do you get any sense at all of what or how this crystal being would like to work with you, or what they would like from you as well? So I've brought a few here that have, for me, a huge fairy, obviously dragon. See, he's a little dragon skull, a aventurine dragon skull, with a big personality. So it isn't not just it is obviously the big rock as well, but it can be the really small stones that have really powerful elemental guardians with them. And this one's a really beautiful, a really special one. I don't know if you can see how amazing it's. I think it's called Smoky Garden Quartz, and I got this from St Nectan's Glen at Beltane this year, and it was a gift to me after a ceremony. And inside it there's a whole world. There's whole worlds in there. There's like little bubbles of light and water. There's like almost like moss looking, it's a whole fairy world in there. So with stones like this, you can actually stare at them. You can actually be lost and look at all the details and explore the fairy worlds within the fairy world. So this is a really beautiful fairy connection stone in a way where you can actually see the different worlds in there. So yeah, and I've got my little piece of selenite as well that survived a lot, really. So some of these stones are, not all stones, as I said before, have an elemental guardian, and you'll know because you'll feel it. It doesn't quite feel like it's connecting with me, and some literally leap off the shelves to talk to you. So find a crystal or a stone. Like, it actually can be a stone in the garden. It does not have to be a crystal. That actually speaks to you, that catches your eye, that leaps out at you in some way, and then hold it close to your heart and see how you feel with that crystal, with that rock, with that stone. And just do a little sort of a scan. You know what you're doing, guys. Do a little scan to see, does this have... And probably the fairy's going, hello, I'm here, oi, can you see me? And then you're unlocking that stone, that crystal, in such a deep way. You're connecting with the guardian fairy spirit of that crystal. So it's not only just a crystal you have around that's nice and healing, it's one that you have a real fairy connection with. And you can find out, more about the fairy guardians, what they've come here to do, what they want, what they don't like, all these things. So that's a really simple thing to do this week and over the next few weeks. But most of us have crystals around the house. If you don't, you can go and buy one if you wish, or just, as I said, it can be a stone, a rock, something that leaps out at you on your nature walks, okay? And again, if you are going to buy crystals, if possible, know that they're being sourced ethically. They're not being totally ripped out of the earth in a machine nasty way and not being replaced. So if you can, ask the people in the crystal shop, or go to a place where you know where these crystals are sourced from, because that's when you won't find a great connection, when they've been totally pummeled out of the earth with no respect and mined quite unethically. So yeah. It's always good to find that anyway, but it's great for the planet and for your connection with fairy, to connect with fairies that are and crystals that are coming from a good place as much as possible. Or if they come from a really bad place, you can work with some healing on that crystal and work with some healing on that space. So there's swings and roundabouts, but if you can buy them and support ethically sourced crystal shops, that's all the good, isn't it, really? So we've got some lovely things to work with this week. We've got deepening our connection with our fairy allies. We've got dream work, and we've got looking at finding a crystal and finding the elemental guardian of the crystal. I would say to start with one crystal at the moment, or one stone, and spend a few days maybe holding it for a little bit and just seeing what comes through for you in any way, shape or form. Note it down, and if you do feel so inclined, do write it down and share it in the group, because I would love to hear from you. So yeah, I'm really loving this journey. I'm excited to see what comes next, and enjoy your week 3, enjoy your ongoing journey. Sending you all lots and lots of love. Take care. See you soon. Bye.